This is the longest we've ever stayed in one place. We're still in Marathon, Florida. On February 13th, we woke to high winds and rain that had rolled in overnight. In these kind of weather conditions, there wasn't much to do, except make pizza. The next day it was still windy, but the sun was out, so we could get outside. We both did some work on our teak railings, and I changed the raw water impeller on the engine. On the 16th, we took an Uber to the west end of Marathon, so we could hike the newly opened walkway to Pigeon Key. The walk to Pigeon Key is 2 miles each way. Pigeon Key charges $15 per person to tour the island, which is pretty standard for this area. All funds support the nonprofit group that operates and maintains the facility. At one point, we overheard that it was feeding time for the sharks, and we saw a group of 5th grade girls being marched out to the saltwater pool where they keep the sharks. The whole thing became a lot less interesting when we realized that the kids were doing the feeding, not actually being fed to the... well, never mind.
That's the section there. Excuse me, that's the bridge timber quarters. This was for the assistant bridge timber. Both built in 1912. So let's step in here and take a close look.
After touring the museum and the island, we hiked the 2 miles back to Marathon. Due to expert planning, this time our walk ended at the Sunset Grill for a couple well-deserved beers and a burger. On the 18th, we were having our sunrise coffee at about 10 a.m. when we noticed these two manatees touring the marina. There's two.
Jay, come out, come out.
Over the past week or so, we've been doing some maintenance on our teak railings and tow rails. Sharon went around first, sanding and touching up all the scuffed and damaged spots. Then I've been roughing up the finish and applying a fresh coat of Cetal on everything. So far, so good. On February 20th, our friends Greg and Chris arrived from Indiana for about a week. On the 21st, my sister Jennifer arrived, also to visit for a week. Chris and Greg will be staying in a room at the resort here, while Jennifer will be staying in our guest cabin. February 24th, and Sharon, Jennifer, and I headed to Key West to visit the Key West Botanical Gardens.
Oh, how soothingly zen. Once they saw me when the other ones are turning around. Yeah, he's out there coming in. And hi guys, you're all trained.
You're not going to feed us. Out of here.
Inside, biggest coming.
Shortly after we got our boat, I removed the non-functioning loud hailer horn from the front of the flybridge and replaced it with a carved wooden parrot. After over 3 years in the weather, he's looking a bit worn. Luckily for us, Jennifer is a trained certified objects conservator. Although her specialty is textiles, she agreed to have a go at rejuvenating our parrot. On February 25th, Jennifer and I went for a short ride in the dinghy, just to be sure my recent tune-up work had the desired effect. We made it back to the marina safely, so I guess it was a success. For 13 years now, gold loopers and authors George and Pat Hospodar have hosted an annual sunset celebration at Banana Bay Marina's Tiki Bar. We were lucky enough to attend this year and had a great time chatting with lots of fellow loopers. And this is where we leave you for this episode. We have one more day here to get our boat ready to depart, and for the first time in a long while, we'll be heading north, back to the Everglades, and back up the west coast of Florida. See you next time.